Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, my friends, all of you. This on the there we go thing. This is the correct thing here.
I'm pretty sure you do.
Okay. It's the world of Thalaria, and in the world of Thalaria, there are a great many nations, and each of those nations has been working with certain issues for at least 5, 6 centuries. There's some long-standing problems um, that have been kind of preventing them from with one another, kind of locking them to their own respective land.
There is a little bit of overlap, I would like to think, but not a ton.
Yeah, there's ever so slightly the smallest amount. A few adventurers that can manage to make their way across to the other planet. This is not. This is unlike the Cloudbreaker stuff, or Cloudfall, where you're completely separate off. This is a people have the ability to travel through. There is some uh, slight, like, occasional diversity between, like, but each nation has their sort of respective, like, this is the majority, this is the majority here, etc. Or understanding of the cosmology of Thalaria. Thalaria has, well, for a starter, it has one blue moon with some green specks across it. Various cultures have had their own takes on whether the celestial bodies be gods and goddesses or the domains of such. The the other notable thing about the planet itself, Thalaria, is that it has rings. These aren't as thick as, like, Saturn's rings, where they block out 40% of the sky. More so that they block out about 20% of the sky at their maximum. And the closer to the equator you get, the thinner they get, and more like a line it is that, like, separates. And trust me, once we get into that area, there is definitely some, like, uh theological and mythological beliefs there. Believe you me. But, like, the further away you get, the more the sky they take up to 20%. And then the further north and south you go, the less of them you'll see, because it's like, more of the planet is actually getting in the way of the arches, or in the rings, so they look more and more just like arches. There are two stars. This is a binary system. Within this binary system, uh,
Hmm.
within this binary system, there is a blue and an orange star. Effectively, a blue supergiant that is at the center of everything, and the orange Stellaris is more of an orange. Not, there are various names for them. Uh, so they're so the orange is usually referred to as something of something akin to a traveler or perhaps a messenger, whereas the blue star is usually referred to as a king, an emperor, a diplomat of sorts, not diplomat, but like an emissary. We are currently in country, the territory of Galarak. Galarak is there's a bit of clockwork going on. It's kind of your step towards having some steampunk and clockpunk in there, or gearpunk, I guess. Uh, a little bit Victorian, or at least that is the name of the city. That is at least the nature of Yggdrasil in some of its surrounding cities. Let me type that out for you so you can.
Just so that way we're not completely lost in terms of spelling.
Thank you, May.
There it is.
Oh, this is actually in a chat, I assume. No. Either way.
You know? No, it's not going to be in the video chat. It's going to be in the thing.
Sorry,
The team.
I thought it was in Discord, not in Roll20. My bad.
Nope. Well, I could put it in the other thing. Also, Skeletons, but
Yes.
Did you move what you?
Yes.
You moved it to the wrong thing.
What I had typed out was not for that campaign.
You thought of the wrong character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can worry about it later.
Yeah. When I read it, I wasn't paying attention to the title of the group chat.
And I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to pin it so that I have it here. The record. How close is Galadak to Malava?
At least,
not.
Who's the closest in terms of territory? I think would be the better.
Galarak is kind of this area. If this place is Eorzea, Galarak is kind of the Mordona.
That doesn't really narrow it down, but okay.
It narrows it down in the fact that it's kind of in the middle of all the nations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That helps.
Mordana is in the middle of the city-states.
Here?
What's the main government system? What, like, is it a king? Is it see what
of this? So Yggdrasil and Galarak as a whole has a what's it called?
I want to say a tetrarchy, but that's just me.
it has a three-pronged governmental system.
Okay.
So, well, I guess technically there's four aspects. So there is Lord Commander, who is effectively the leader of their military. So there's yeah, so there's the Archbishop, which is the leader of their logical side of things. There's the Governor, their which is sort of the legislative side of things, and then there are the aristocrats, which are the mercantile side of things, the treasury.
Oh, okay. Just asking because this is knowledge that my character would have had at least at a time. And assume that it was somebody in the merchant side that approved the fact that she's there, but that's something that we will get into later.
Oh, yeah, we can discuss that later.
Yeah.
As for your meeting,
Dang it. Excuse me, sorry.
you are, and I hate to be cliche with the tavern.
But we meet in a tavern.
It's not to be cliche or anything. The best way to sort of call upon all of you.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's the best way to call. It's the best point, considering you are all different nations.
Different nations, different clans, different tribes.
Question: does this tavern actually have tea by chance, or no? She does not drink alcohol. She's more tea.
The real Chestiness does have strawberry sundaes.
That is a good point.
Okay, yeah.
That is.
Correctly and properly.
Oh, I need to
Do you
find
need
it.
to?
I need a familiar token.
Do you though?
I do.
Anyway,
You were all summoned here by one Valerin. You know him as an elf of is, I believe, Star Elf. Even though what that means later.
yeah, he's some sort of elf.
He's definitely not a character that I ripped from Cloudbreaker Alliance to use in his. No.
No, not at all.
Don't worry about
I
it.
don't reuse my characters.
Don't worry about it. Um,
You know that he has greenish hair with blue eyes. He wears sort of armor, some sort of uh, more than likely in Oath of the Ancients Paladin. With his the note that called you all here, that called you. It seemed to had various callbacks and call-ins to your nation's respective problem.
oh boy.
Uh-huh. Effectively, he will offer you help with each of your nation's respective problems. However, there are problems that Galarak itself is struggling.
And just so
Galarak
we
itself
know,
being a what's up?
I was going to say, just so we know, Galarak's problem is what exactly?
I assume that's why he's here to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just in the whole country debrief. What would be the actual problem?
You'll find out.
One of the primary problem.
Fun.
Yeah. That fun shit. And just to point out, it is worth noting that there are certain. Being that this is going to be a hex crawl, for those of you that don't know what a hex crawl is, effectively you have of the map that will be unlocked as you go along. Effectively, it encourages exploration, and I'm kind of going a little with the video game logic where events that haven't been triggered will only trigger when you reach them. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Which also means that anything that we miss or come back is going to be harder in return.
Exactly. Because everything levels up with you.
Fun.
That being said, if an event that you happen to trigger has or different possible, like say that has 3 possible directions for you to go in.
Mm-hmm.
Putting off each one will have consequences for, or doing one versus the others will have consequences for the other 2.
Assuming that we can get back to the branching point to begin with. Anyway.
Choices.
What do you think you can handle?
Mm-hmm.
Very like, what do you think would be the most difficult to handle if put off. At any rate, there is staggering undead uprising problem in Galarac as a whole. Something as you travel through, but as you're traveling through, you're not necessarily focusing on exploring or seeing the vistas around you. You're more focused on, getting to where you need to go and making sure you don't get ganked. But for some of you, getting ganked is,
Not fun.
Yep.
oh, for some of you, getting ganked is not something that you're, what's the word?
Inclined to want to happen?
Well, I don't think anyone wants to get ganked, but at least some of you are familiar with
Uh-huh.
Pain and suffering for Lizzie.
pain and suffering for everybody.
I was going to say, Boldus, it's just you. Anyway, so
Now,
do you want us to do
What
initiatives
happens?
or
yes, please do.
make sure your tokens are clicked if the turn order is brought up?
We don't need to bring up. I'll just remember which one it is. This is just your bog standard get to know you initiative.
Yeah, fair enough.
Lizzie devolved the highest.
Yes.
Well,
May, you would go before me.
I think introduction initiative goes off charisma.
Either still think he would go before me.
That is true. So, Garuk, you enter this. So you go through this area. There are undead. In fact, roll me a nature or arcana of your choice.
Nice. Well, they're both a -1, so.
Okay. From the adventure, because there have been adventurers that have passed through the Untamed Wilds before.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard some of them in passing, like undead, zombies, skeletons. You know what a skeleton is. You've seen skeletons.
I created a
But,
couple
like,
or two.
But animated skeletons, like they're talking about skeletons that moved around. You've never really seen that. As you're traveling through, or I guess this past week or so, as you're traveling through with the caravan, you these walking corpses are that's new to you. Seen something that has died and then gotten
Exactly.
You've seen things have like a second wind and like this rush of ferocity, but these things, the way they fight, the way that they move, is not natural. And honestly, roll a wisdom save. Yes, wisdom saving throw. Wait, that's the wisdom check. I need to roll a wisdom save.
Oh, that would be the small.
There you go.
Sorry.
Yeah. It doesn't like unnerve you so much as it is like, ew. It's just kind of gross. Like that time you accidentally stepped in wyvern shit.
That was a great day.
Ew. Gross.
Great day. Egg go break. Ugh.
That kind of, but like all over.
Yeah, just
it doesn't
Groot
like
literally hugged onto his steed, if you will. Just meh.
I mean, you're probably fighting these and killing these as you go along, and the caravan is making sure that no hordes get to you.
Or, but at the same time, if it's time to fight, he will fight. Like, if it's go time,
you do end up getting into fights and stuff with these things. That's what the caravans are for. In fact, caravans right now, aside from perception check. Okay, now roll. Check. Sad. Roll a basic int check.
Here we go.
Is that canoe flying? Why is that boat in the sky flying?
Boat fly when?
The boat used to be elevated. I didn't know they could do that.
Do that. So you dumb fucking boat. Anyway, sorry, I had to complete the quote.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah. So next to you. That, my goods, that would be an airship.
Ship.
Roll another intelligence check. It's the concept of an airship to you. I guess it would have been history.
Regardless.
History anyway.
Sure, roll the history.
No. You just don't. It just gloss over your eyes. You don't.
I don't understand.
Your eyes glaze over.
My mouth is slightly agape, and you can just tell I'm like.
Yeah,
Oh
the
gosh.
words, just like the words, the concept like thrust and elevation and aviation. These words that I like your funny words, Magic Man. don't even catch like how you don't. He
There's
tries to
none of
explain
it.
it to you, but it's clear at a certain point that that he's not the guy to explain it to you.
Yeah, no. I have no idea. None whatsoever.
And it's not for lack of trying. The man tries to explain it to you. It's just,
You say.
It pings off
Yeah.
your head like a marble. That is to say.
you manage to make your way through. You see, you see like settlements and towns, and these like weird like buildings made of. You've seen like log cabins and stuff. You have some of those at your camp, but like the kinds of buildings that these wooden houses are made out of, or wooden buildings are made out of. It's not like they're log cabins so much as it is. I mean, you can tell it's wood, but it's like
Different.
there are strange colors on them, and then you get to see.
Wood.
Yeah. Easy perception check. Or actually, what's your passive?
Uh,
Fucking tower with moving parts on the tower, and like things that circle, like spin on the tower, and some things that like will move up and down.
Brooks sees that he almost falls off of his steed, just trying to crane his neck up to see.
It's just when you look at it, it's
Massive.
alien. It's massive, but it's alien. It's
Alien.
It's
Alien.
It's the size of some. Those creatures you've heard of. But more importantly, it's how alien it is to you. Something like this is to you. These moving
Comfortable.
parts. All these moving parts, all this. I mean, itself isn't strange. It's how. The only word you can think of to describe it is unnatural or not natural, but not in the same way as those undead were undead. You wouldn't have the concept or the word for mechanical.
Rook not comfortable going near that. Thing?
You friend that it's just a tower. It's
Tower.
the clock tower.
Clock tower?
Yeah, I was told that those Untamed Wilds had no knowledge of the lands outside, but I never. There is much that you will have to learn, my friend. As you approach the city, you see massive stone walls that are fairly ornate. Not like super ornate, but like
Mhm.
It's a bit of embellishment. And these, I mean, that you're unfamiliar with using walls. I mean, look at log cabins. You don't really your cities unless they're like, but settlements unless they're like in like a unless they're like in a pit somewhere.
Right?
It's like
The main defense. Land Kraken. He's pointing at the walls,
well, the primary
looking to his friend.
well, primary purpose is to keep invaders out. Which includes
Invaders.
the term invade before.
Oh, when you take
mostly,
other village.
You mostly use or the term that's used more often instead of invade or invaders is conquest or conquerors, raiders. You would know, no, like your character would know, or Gerwick would know of the term, or Gerwick would be more akin to use the term, instead of invade, would use the term conquer, or raid, maybe even attack.
Oh, prevent take a village.
Well, that's no village, as you can
It's
see.
not.
Stay on target.
No, that's the capital city.
Trap.
That's our capital.
Yggdrasil.
Something. I suppose this city would be akin to. Makes sense to you?
Oh.
If this man doesn't know what a clock is, Lizzie's blowing his fucking mind.
Yeah, Gerrick's gonna have an interesting time.
You managed to make your way into the city proper.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people are giving Grook bad stares. Steed is and all.
Side eyes. Oh well, but actually,
Just so the people know, what exactly
It's not
is
like-
his steed?
it's a dinosaur basically.
Okay.
Basically, a dinosaur that is known to be that was given the title of World Devourer.
Okay.
Well, it's akin to that.
Mm-hmm.
It is not quite a world devourer yet.
No.
Not sure if it will be. Oop, that's not it. There you go. It is size large, so it takes up that much space.
Yeah. Excuse me. Roughly, the steed is about 14'9", 15", depending.
From head to
In height.
tail or
In
head
height.
to foot?
Not tail length.
Okay.
Yeah, from tail, that would be roughly about 25.
Okay.
It would be roughly the size of an Allosaurus.
Pretty much.
Anyway. So you get
Probably like a
through.
medium-sized
Hun, focus. Back on target.
dinosaur.
No. Anyway. So we managed to make it into the city, into Adria. Is a urban village unlike any you've ever seen. You've never seen a settlement this large before. It just keeps getting bigger the closer you get to it. Now that you're in it, it's
Which is-
boy.
Yeah, which is really making Garuk uncomfortable. He's just like, I'd rather just turn around now. He would rather just be like, nope.
Garuk
He'd
is
rather
having a
go
time.
away.
Hmm.
The magnitude of this settlement is making him gets to that front gate.
Well, fortunately for you, the streets are quite large. They're like wide. You have open space. At the very least, it's not cramped and crowded. There are some cities, not necessarily capital cities, but there are some cities that are for how big they are.
Building. Can we hurry this up? I double parked my dinosaur.
It's pretty much. It's like
As you roll. Say survival because it's well. I mean, I guess it would be. I'll say perception and survival combined roll. With the same roll.
Okay, so it's like perception first and then survival, and then depending on how. Okay.
So there's a little bit of what's the word? Sorry, overload. You've never been in a place this loud before, either.
Yeah, the moment he hits the gates, that's when he's just like, all right, I'm done. Yanks on lower constitute as the saddle and just like, nope, pulls away. I'm done.
You leave the city.
He just stops to just take a moment to calm the fuck down. It's
Okay.
really what it is. Not happy. He has his hands up like, I'm done. I'm at a loss. Even his steed she's probably just like wanting to back away, just not comfortable, not happy. Both of them are this way.
So at this point, I would like you to describe your character.
Your friend is basically the equivalent of a massive lizard-like individual. When completely in war state, you've known him to unfurl his hood for when he goes into battle. This said lizardman is from a tribe that is considered to be somewhat nomadic, but also having a central area that they return to after they come from hunts, fights, or just scouting around for resources for the village. That but that in itself takes a lengthy process to do so. This copper-colored lizardman is just very uncomfortable of this, and my brain just tanked. Fuck. A Tyrannosaurus-looking individual, spiky is all. Not okay. As a is wearing a hide cape himself with fur on it and kilt. Very leathery, furry kilt that he had did himself.
Okay. From the gates themselves, like from within the city, there's somebody runs out from within the city, kind of seeing your reaction. He appears to have white hair. He's got some very strange clothes to you.
He just what?
Clothing looks.
His clothing, sorry.
The clothing looks.
He said he's into you clothing. I'm like, what? I was confused.
Quite strange to what you've seen. I mean, even strange compared to some of the people's equipment that you've seen here, or clothing. There's what appears to be. I mean, it's clearly a coat of some sort. But it seems to like. So at the shoulders of it, and across like the forearms, is strange gloves with. I mean, you know what metal is, but you don't really have a lot of metallurgy. Most you're doing is like smelting iron, maybe brass or copper.
To forge either your more primitive weapons, such as like a metal bow, a heavy hammer, or a very long sword, something along those lines. Anything after that,
Use swords all that often. It's person with a sword there.
Yeah, it's much more like axes, sickles, spears, stuff like that.
Very like some funk.
pretty much is what actually he has.
He has his long pointed ears that are kind of tilted back, and these bright blue eyes with like almost starry. His eyes seem to glisten, like his irises, right? Like the blue of his eyes seem to glisten. And he has a very strange contraption on his back. It looks almost like a metal stick, but sharp, with a little contraption on it, or contraption, metal thing on the where it looks to you grab it.
Karuk, help.
You hear still dealing. Hey, you okay, man?
The more you looked at him, the more he's like even physically just rearing back, like I am not okay. Like also trying to be not threatening. He's just
This your first time to a big city, man? Yeah. Big city. It's like a village.
rains up to look up at the place. Very, very sure than Gundabad.
Stuff. I'm gonna roll something for him. Both surprised and not surprised. Gundabad. North or west in the Untamed Wilds?
That was more, near the more. When
He's asking the character.
where rains lots near.
Kind of east to the shore, but not close. There's still a few, like, 12.5 miles between there and the coast.
I would like to also give context on Estia's size comparison.
Probably no more than 100, 200 people.
Yeah.
Considering it's the alpha village for them, it was under the impression that one would have about like 5. And is more like 75 to 100.
So it's a city, but it's more like a pre-modern medieval city.
Yeah.
It's a city in the sense that, like, major cities in MMOs are.
So it's basic. So Gundabad is basically Gridania, but in a jungle.
More advanced.
Temperate rainforest, but yeah.
What rainforest?
Temperate rainforest. Like Oregon.
The rainforest. Excuse me.
Oregon.
So it's a redwood rainforest.
Kinda, yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. It's a.
So Lizzie comes from the opposite of that, which is a pinewood rainforest.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes. Anyway.
Yeah, after a certain point, Karuk's tail is visibly just swaying about. Just
It's gonna be all right, buddy. Be all right. I don't know why you're going through here, but I can help you get through. At that moment, the clock tower. Wong.
Oh no.
Wong.
The moment Karuk hears that, he just yanks out his club. Just takes a complete stance.
Hang on. That's yeah. The man before was like, well, hang on. That's not necessary. That was the clock tower. That wasn't like a war battle.
What beast make that?
That's not a beast. That's a machine. It's a clock.
Clock?
Yes. Clocks tell time. That just told us that it was 3 o'clock.
Time.
Yeah. Haven't used like unless you don't. Maybe you don't have a numbered system for time, but
I'm surprised sundial
Right,
does
yeah,
not
concept.
exist in that.
He would know that. He just wouldn't call it that.
There.
Probably
I mean-
call it something like a sunstone or
I'm surprised you haven't used like, or I'm surprised you haven't used rings as a sundial. Oh, for that? Yeah, that's probably gonna be high enough. Oh, Skelos, out of character, please explain to me great grandfather's shield.
Great-grandfather shields is what is protecting the blue sun. They're what is around the blue sun, correct?
The rings are what is around the planet.
Oh, the planet. Oh, then he would. I am going to correct myself. Said grandfather's shields, Suzanne.
Okay,
Not great grandfather. Sorry, I kept from.
that's fine.
My
That's
person-
fine. That's fine. I just need some explanation and context.
From who is what they call the blue sun.
Okay.
The rings, or as his tribe would call it, the shield, they view it as that. Who is considered to be the creator and originator of their world.
Okay.
Essentially, they view one is his bride.
And so he takes a second. Right. And he sort of like surprises you with the amount of knowledge that he knows about that. Considering nobody that you've met on your journey thus far or your on the caravan is known. So the fact that he knows about the and as in good detail as he does is kind of surprising to you. Well, they are shields. after a fashion. They do help the tidal forces of the water. They help to keep that in a little bit of balance. Does the moon above. And he does something that is probably about to freak you out. He he sort of tries to back here, like, here, I can explain a little bit further once we're in the city. I do kind of have a job here. Oh, by the way, the name is Luke Silverhawk. He pulls out his hand to shake.
Somebody grabs your hand. He's not like trying to crush it on purpose. He's just trying to grab your hand. But for you, it's literally like.
Kind of exerts the same amount of force back to reciprocate. And it's not to be rude. It's not to be rude either. It's just the he's trying to he's trying to help follow with if this kind of grass is part of your culture, he's trying to follow that.
He basically feels the exertion back. You can see visibly on his body a small moment of Rook, as he then just starts shaking it. The moment he does, that's when that's starting to hurt because he's shaking it to where it basically you're. He's just like yay.
We have the same strength modifier.
Oh, we do.
Yep.
Never mind.
All right. Let's get you inside. All right.
He begins to put basically his into his steed.
That's a cool looking creature.
Oh. Devil Joanna. As you just see him patting on the what would be the basically like the top back of her skull of where her head is. He and I
Arcane or Shamanic? Probably Shamanic. He does a little bit of muttering to himself.
Huh?
As he's walking, as he's leading you through the streets.
Yeah, she's not having it with the streets, but he's doing his best to keep her in line.
Oh, you will have to have her tethered to a stable.
Her lay down finally to relax. Oh.
No, there's usually a stable outside of each major establishment. This is a fairly big city, so having them out like that is not a bad idea. And you eventually find your way through the inn. Oh, what did you say your name was again?
Stamunda.
Alright, Garuk. Let's take a seat here. He sits down at a table. I'll be waiting for some other people as well. You know what people are.
Paul.
You would know what people are.
Damn. Can't blame him for trying to stay in character with it.
It's like just because your character is from an pre-industrial society doesn't mean they're stupid.
Right.
Yeah,
Even
it's
if your character has a -1 int and is from pre-industrial, doesn't mean that you don't know the most basic common term.
Like a 9 in intelligence just means like you're bad at math and you can't read.
not even that you can't read. It's just that you struggle.
Yeah, you struggle with things, so that's fine.
So I'm more like Grog.
Kinda, yeah.
Eh,
Well, considering that Grog has an intelligence of 6.
I'd say maybe more like Forrest Gump.
Oh. Scope of how I should be talking, but
Ibarra.
You're pre-industrial, you're not a caveman.
Anyway,
True. Ibarra.
you're up.
You pulled quite away from your island home. This nation on the mainland. Yeah. It is different from what you would expect. The air is not quite as mystical. Well, there's a mysticism, but not a good mysticism. You have a concept of the undead. You haven't necessarily seen many undead in person. A few tales of such things, or people have talked about them in your presence. But reading about them and hearing about them is very different from seeing a corpse move. You're no stranger to that which is unnatural. I mean, you are part yokai after all. Yeah. From the yokai realm. And you've come seeking the help. Well, help that was offered to you in exchange for helping them first. And about it, it makes sense. This is the centralmost part of this region, this continent, so and helping the centralmost part will allow for the outsides to be cleared out a little bit easier. Still, though, these animated corpses, these strange moving skeletons, there's even a strange one with a bull head.
times of this life are always hard.
Odd is relative, wouldn't you say? I mean, I suppose I find to be quite odd. It says, a high elf in with a cowboy hat, a duster, gun on his back.
Hush. Oh, God.
Well, undead are a little bit different than that. These aren't the same kind of rising undead that you might have heard of in Dales. There's never no reason for the undead. There's almost always some sort of person behind it. Someone manipulating corpses. Most times their souls have already moved on. That don't make it right to puppet someone's body.
Saying all of these are.
But there could be. When dealing with vampires, and there's such undead of similar variety. There's the disease.
Yes, vampire are powerful, you guy.
Remember that? But if is that what you call undead over there across the bay?
Undead. They are
Sorry.
unholy teachers.
Unholy does. That don't narrow it down too much. Well, it narrows down to some undead, or should be devils. Yeah.
Should it be yet civil?
Now, I wouldn't say that all things shouldn't exist. Not all demons are. Not all demons ask to be demons.
Sorry,
That's
just
be boring, Dad.
sorry. Well, actually, no. It's the mention of demons specifically.
Cannot be saved.
I don't mean you can't try. I may brandish this gun. I may have a. I may. This gun may be my pride and joy, but even I know. Sometimes it's better to ask questions before you shoot. Safety you can't take back.
Important like that. You shoot and aim your weapon at things indiscriminately. Then it is poor use of a child.
Can't say I disagree. May, would you mind describing Hibara's look and appearance?
Height of 5G, wearing swine maiden robes. Little trowel on her neck.
What would Shrine Maiden robes look like to somebody who has no concept?
White long sleeve short with a red on a ledge with sandals
Okay.
and the sleeves look like kind of oversized. Like the back is a charter on her other hip is like a bag that holds paper talismans in it.
Okay.
She even has a Mori. That is awesome.
Yes. Beatrice, further back on this caravan. Yeah. The caravan sort of stopped by through.
She has long, light brown hair,
Oh, sorry.
and she has one gray eye and one light. She has a band-aid on her nose. That'll be it. That'll be it for her physical appearance.
Beatrice, the
I forgot one detail.
detail.
She has a fox tail.
Yes.
Speaking of which, I should have said it sooner. I apologize. Grook also does.
Yeah, I know. You're a lizard folk.
It's dragon. It's dragonborn that you have to make the distinction for.
Yes.
That's what we usually do.
It seems
I'm a high elf with a fox tail, which is not normal.
A bit unusual.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah, this caravan stopped through, or went through Kusan Alley as well.
Mhm.
And Beatrice, I mean, you know what undead are.
It's not so much that
It's
it's the sheer amount of undead.
it's the sheer amount of undead and the fact that there's no obvious cure for them.
Yeah, there's no obvious source.
Yeah, they're just kind of. That's what's like eerie to you. That's what's like.
I've got a bad feeling, and I don't know. I don't know what to do with it.
Still kind of keeping your distance from people.
I mean, if somebody comes up to chat with her, she'll make small talk, but usually she kind of stays back. Just watching. Oh, and before I forget, is her assistant with her? Like, is Raina actually with her, or no?
Knowing of the amount of undead currently who are connected via link pearl.
Alright.
Just knowing how dangerous this area is currently.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a caravan here, and yes, she can be left at the city or at Yggdrasil, but
it's not a good idea.
That doesn't exactly make you feel comfortable leaving her at a city you've never been to for very long.
Mm-hmm.
The most you've stayed in Yggdrasil before is like maybe a week.
A couple, depending on what she's had to investigate.
Yeah,
regardless, the fact that she's not the only one that's being called forth, and there's multiple other nations getting involved. This definitely has her attention.
Yes. Would you like to describe your character?
So, for those who actually witnessed, she is a pale high elf with one green eye and one gold eye. Around 6 feet tall. Her hands are gloved. And she's wearing a long brown coat with pockets. For those who kind of need it, she's got a trench coat. If occasionally she'll peel back the coat and you'll see a old, what appears to be drawing tablet in a way, and then you'll also see that she has a knife in one of the inner pockets, just in case. Just in case. Oh, and she appears to be a surgical mask on. Be it.
As time draws near,
does he react at all to seeing another high elf that has a fox tail?
Seeing the tail, she kind of blinks for a moment, like she has a tail. That's
it's probably that clip, and then it moves like okay.
Well, it's still that's interesting. I need to make sure I see that so I'm not losing my mind.
Yes.
Mine is actually very cool. I got new dice. to your side, and they are very nice. I also have a very large D20 that has bubbles inside of it.
You're welcome. Anyway, back on target.
So, time goes on. Beatrice, you're not particularly shocked by the sight of the clock tower. You've seen it before. It's still impressive. It's still really cool.
If anything, it may have gotten more advanced from last time.
You do see an unfortunate sight. Some more armaments on there. And
Oh
a strange
dear.
thing producing energy. You don't know what that thing producing energy is.
Is it magical? Is it mechanical? What?
From here, you can't tell. You're still really far away from it. It
Fair enough.
seems to be able to. Seems like it produces energy or conducts it.
I'm not sure I like that. I will need to submit a research request. And for context, a research request is basically somebody from Kusanali will submit a research request to another nation and doing the, hey, can I investigate this? And depending on the nation, sometimes yes, sometimes no, sometimes with certain conditions in place.
Right. Ibarra, on the other hand, that's at least one or two orders of magnitude larger than the largest, or taller than the tallest building you've ever seen. Even taller than Atla's Shining Tower, to the god, or to the kami. And it's weird because there are things that move mechanically. And things that go up and down, like something that starts from the base here and moves all the way up to here. And back down. Some strange... What would you call them? Some strange sort of... machine that moves you from one part of the tower to the other. Beatrice, you know that. That's the elevator for the governor to get to his home at the top.
I see.
It's a grandiose construction. It was designed to be especially considering point B does get him to the town square where meetings are held, and the forum. Because there is a forum where people kind of a limited number of people at a time are able to
air out what they need to air out and go from there.
Yeah. Come up with possible ideas.
I was just looking wide-eyed at it. such as doing the chain it does do when they're very confused or something.
Just
Yeah.
head
Then
tilt.
you hear boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, the moment I was ringing,
Yep,
basically
yep.
sitting up with a knife in his hand.
Yeah, well, this is a rewind in time. This is the first. This is when you would have first heard.
Yep.
They're just much further away
Oh.
at this point in time.
3 o'clock. On schedule.
Always is. You see someone off to like your right, sort of. As the caravan's going on, he's just sort of performing maintenance on his gun.
Yeah, just giving him a nod. The greetings from Kusanali it's not so much of a handshake, it's more of a nod, and then depending on if you're an apprentice to someone or if you're not, then how much you nod is kind of a oh, hello, you're there. I will admit it's been many years since I've last been here. Has
Much as I hate to say it, yeah.
I see, and preventative measures have not been taken? Have been taken?
He looks to you and points to the strange. I'm sure you're aware of what a ballista is, and what cannons are, and harpoons.
Yep. It's definitely
Yeah,
more
I
used
hardly need to
used
explain
for
those,
military, but
these are designed to. They're designed to repel undead, especially undead that might happen to be able to fly. Rare, but it happens.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily unheard of, but I don't like the implications of that.
Yeah. It's not a. They're not fun to deal with.
Oh,
Fortunately, we have the shield generator to help with that.
shield generator?
And you see the Tesla coil looking thing. You realize, oh,
I
that makes
see.
sense.
Interesting.
Times aren't great when we have to rely on making a force field to keep people out.
Well, it's not so much keeping people out, but keeping people in as well. Well, I suppose that's why they called me in.
Excuse me.
I'm not a. I suppose I wouldn't say that I'm a big fan of having to make sure idiots don't be idiots, but it is part of the job.
I hate to inform you that that will be a very common part of the job until the end of your employment.
See a badge on him.
She doesn't necessarily have a badge, but can he pick up on that she's similar position to him?
He's an inquisitive rogue.
I see.
Yeah. So, detective men's.
Mm-hmm.
Is he a sheriff or a deputy?
He's a deputy.
I see. Well,
That's why he's able to operate out outside of the city.
Fair enough. If you come across any other intel in regards to what's been going on here, by all means, feel free to try and contact me. I can't promise I'll be timely, but I can promise results.
Alright.
Hmm.
So now we got more people on the case.
Worst case scenario, best case scenario, it's a cultural exchange. Worst case scenario, I lose my mind. I'd rather not have the worst case scenario.
The worst case scenario, you lose your mind, soul, and body. So we're all that.
And here I thought I would not be the optimist.
I don't know what's gonna get to that point. Oh, by the way, when they get into town, we got I don't know if you know them you come from, but there are a few shops that are at least having some sales on them right now. And he pulls out a bullet. It seems to be glowing.
Does have firearms. She is not trained necessarily to have them, but they actually exist. I see. I will keep that in mind.
And in case the bullets on your taste, they got it in bolts and arrows as well.
Good to know.
Hell, they've even got them in little dome pellets for slings.
Perfect. Though I have to ask, is there any sort of apothecary that you would suggest?
Oh, there's always Mad James.
Mad? That's
That is comforting.
Is her how do I put this? Her
moniker?
yeah.
I do hope she's not actually mad. that would be quite
the only
problem.
The only thing insane here are these insane prices. Slightly sarcastic tone when he says that.
I see.
As though he's been there enough times for that like
for that tagline.
Yeah, for that pitch.
Yeah.
I see. Well, it seems I'll have to pay Miss Jane a visit once I get into town.
At this point, you eventually manage to make your way to the itself, and you find your way. You're both able to find your way to the same tavern.
I could go for a glass of tea. Wait.
Another elf with white hair, blue eyes, weird looking clothes, and a weird fucking lizard dude.
Just
There's
for
also a big lizard outside.
Yeah. Just for context, because she noticed the giant lizard outside. Does Luke? Okay. How do I word this? Is Luke short for something like Lucas, or is it just Luke?
It's just Luke.
All right. Switching to elf. Well, that's a familiar. Also, what is his rank, if he has one?
Lieutenant.
Well, that's a very familiar lieutenant.
And Elvin right back. Howdy, howdy. Come on over. I think you're doing
Chunk
the same
off of
job.
the leg he's eating on.
Beatrice will just kind of nod to him, just, hello.
Yeah, that's Garuk.
Pleasure to meet you, Garuk. I was aware that this was a international affair, but I didn't Octavia would actually get involved.
The Empire. My home.
You don't see many lizard people around here.
No, you'll usually find them in the untamed wilds.
Interesting. She wants to research get Garuk, but at the same time, she just does not want to be weird. She doesn't want to be weird about it.
Luke will like quietly say to her, like in Elven, now is probably not the best time to do research. Still a little bit on edge.
I don't necessarily blame him, given the current state of affairs.
I talked to Garuk and I talked in Chechonic. Do you speak Chechonic?
I believe you have Draconic as your lizard folk.
Yeah, consider that you are part lizard.
It's weird that lizard folks have Draconic, but
It makes less sense than kobolds having them. Draconic, but like lizard folk is weird. They have it.
Not really. I see lizard folk as distant cousins to dragon. But anyway, moving on.
Okay, seriously, out of it. It sounded like you said tectonic. I was confused.
It's just my speech impediment.
Sorry.
Do you speak tectonic?
In response to the draconic. Oh. Hey. Didn't quite catch you there. My apologies. As Grug is basically holding out his hand to Hiabara.
I thought that I say just him.
As gently. Sorry. Yeah, as gently as Garuk can, he shakes her hand. Fair to say.
Who's rolling dexterity?
Me.
Jealous?
I see.
It shouldn't be too hard for you. Yeah, no, you managed it. You managed to not be a fumbling oaf for once.
Wires these days, he said, Chechonic.
Forests sleep. The sands shift. And the grass bites. Not well. That bad. He gets done saying that, he spits on the ground.
And in Draconic, Luke says to him, "That's rough, buddy."
Yeah, you
Indeed.
actually understand him, Luke.
I understand Draconic.
So he's speaking Draconic. I need to brush up on it.
You know it will. Her eyes go wide.
Yeah, they're kind of trying to destroy everything that we have.
Even the metallics?
Don't do that. They're the Chinese t-shirts.
I have images to prove otherwise. And he knows this thing well.
Luke,
I want everyone to be there.
I understand that, but could you at least answer the question? Even the metallics. Because even if metallic dragons are getting aggressive,
That's not good.
Well, remember, this is not favorite.
True.
To answer that question, I have not put in metallic dragons on this side. It's mostly just using chromatics.
Okay.
There are no metallic dragons on taking the side of things.
Okay, just this is good information to know. Also, as the character who would
There are
know
metallic
a lot of
dragons
things.
on the continent. It's just
One of my best friends was a dragon.
It's a very
that he's a little tense.
Perhaps we can discuss this some other time. As kind of a effort to not have a brawl happen.
Oh,
I'm here. I was expecting you to start it.
Oh, you're finally awake.
Like, that was out of character. I have a character voice in this.
Wake up.
Just
I know it's been a bit of a time, but come on.
God damn it! Don't what?
We're almost there, and you should see why you're being called here.
Okay, who's speaking?
NPC didn't know what it's playing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
who does Lizzie? It's like this is obviously somebody who knows Lizzie. I need to know.
Sorry.
I need to know who I am speaking to.
The people from a refugee camp from that thing that happened.
So somebody from home,
Yeah.
or at least from the.
It's another goblin. You call this a goblin. Oh, Gizmo.
Really?
yes.
That's got to be
I
a
know,
nickname. That's got to be a nickname because.
No, sorry, I think it was Gizmo. He's got some tinkering abilities, kind of like you, but he's much more on the tinkering side of things.
I trust.
He makes things explode too, but without the witchy stuff. Or just.
It's like I trust him to change the oil on my tractor, not to be anywhere within 5 feet of blasting powder.
Always manages to get his way in there anyway.
Now, Giz, I don't know why you drug me here. Not back to what happened.
Listen. There's only so much that can be done. That situation.
And I could be hunting for the bastard that did it, but no. Union ties.
Yeah, you could be hunting for the bastard that did it, and end up losing another limb, or maybe your fucking head.
She just growls. But acquiesces to his point.
Fortunately, we need as much help as we can. If this nation's offering, that at least listen to their deal.
And why the Union couldn't have sent somebody more diplomatic? This ain't my forte. Or yours, for that matter.
Well, you know what it is. He lights a bomb and throws it over the edge.
You out of your goddamn mind?
He points to where he threw it. Corpses. And then not walking corpses because they explode.
I guess those blighters were getting a bit close, but still, say something before you light one of them firecrackers off.
I never intentionally hurt no one with them. Well,
there's a reason you're banned from the blasting powder stores. Because you're the only motherfucker in the village that knows how to pick a damn lock.
Just shrugs.
Damn poor boy got no sense.
They need help with their undead problem. We need our help with Cavalier shit. Don't you worry, I'll be staying in town for a bit.
Lord knows I can't keep track of you if you're falling behind me. Ian, but wait, what did he say?
He said it'll take some doing.
Damn right. Boy, he can't keep track of distance or location. He'll do. Remember the time I had to pull your ass out of Haynes Hollow?
You're always gonna bring that up.
I am, because you almost died.
Last I checked, though, I'm still alive.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Satisfaction brought it back.
Oh, you motherfucker.
About the time you see a clock tower. You don't know straight what a clock tower is, but god damn is this thing big. Especially for you, considering size small.
Damn, I know these Yanks built shit big, but that's something else.
And even from here, you can hear the wong, wong, wong. From here, it sounds about as faint as a normal clock tower from the edge of town.
Sounds almost like the temple bells back home. Well,
Yeah.
sounded.
One thing's for certain, I don't do things by half.
Damn straight. You can say that again.
That thing. He points to part of the tower, like this part over here, that starts moving. It starts moving like in that arch.
Can I Tinker's check that?
Yes.
That is a
At
16.
first you thought that was just for show, just showmanship, craftsmanship, or that maybe the gear on the outside there spun and that but the thing kept in place, and then now you're seeing it move, and you realize that's an elevator. Oh, weird elevator, but an elevator nonetheless.
That is
One that goes directly to the top.
That is the
No,
damnedest design I've ever seen for an elevator.
damn straight.
Bet that,
I mean-
bet that thing breaks down more than the mining lift. Fancy doohickeys and shit.
And really, it is an express. It seems like it anyway, because it doesn't have to stop at a bunch of different spots on the hour.
It shoots up like a bottle rocket.
Them cannons.
Do you see any arcane sigils, or are they just blast and powder?
Well, I'll be damned. That one has. That one has. Strange about it. Well, I mean, that one's a Gatling gun.
Damn! Guess they have to go to prove it.
As time goes by, you sorry. As time goes by, you manage to you make it to the city. Yeah, it's pretty fucking big. It's about as big as the biggest city you've ever been to.
Lizzie will
Maybe bigger.
Lizzie will do once they're like off the caravan. Lizzie will like flourish her hand and hold her flesh and blood arm out, and she's calling for the familiar.
Ah.
Down swoops this rather large for Raven. So black it's almost blue raven that just lands on her arm, has sort of kind of ashy texture floating around it.
Wait, roll a basic charisma check, please. It lands on your head.
Damn it, Magne. You sort of shrug what it's lets Magne sit.
Okay. You all right. So this is where the city's at. This is where you and Giz will depart. You look to him. Roll a perception.
Passive is a 23.
He
Just
said
roll
roll it. It's active.
Yeah, no. He's gone. Even with passive, it's still.
Motherfucker.
Hey, observance only a
He
plus
is
5.
also a rogue.
She pinches the bridge of her nose and says, "Slicker and do shit and half as bright."
You make your way over to the streets. The streets of these biggin folk. You see a tavern. You see, for some fucking reason, a big ass lizard.
Dinosaur? What the? Damn. City folks is weird.
She know.
Huh?
I was doing the meme that does he know meme.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for the love of.
Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
you guys make your way in, and there's a. You were aware that it was a multinational deal, but that's a fucking strange cavalcade.
The minute Beatrice actually sees a goblin representative from the lava. Oh no.
Yeah, Lizzie steps.
Oh shit.
Lizzie steps into the tavern. She's wearing what's effectively frontier clothes. She's got a leather vest over her chest that's studded with rivets, a blue denim blouse, a thick midi skirt, a thick maxi skirt, probably multicolored. And she's wearing specifically a very red bandana marked with the sigil of the United Guilds of Malava, which is it used to be a symbol of the Malavan Revolution, but is now sort of a symbol of office.
And the reason that Beatrice went, oh no, is because Kusanali and Malava have the complete opposites in terms of magic policy. Whereas Kusanali is pretty much regulated. Malavis is very much not.
It's regulated, but we don't exactly have much in the. We put more stock in stock, lock, and barrel than we do magical. Magical universities.
Still, the two have been a pain in each other's sides for years.
Well, shit. If this isn't gonna be some culture shock.
I expected there would be headaches, but I didn't think that they would be this explosive.
That's fine.
For you.
Knife ears come in small?
Yes.
She does. Did you say knife ears?
Big.
Big. Yeah, it's.
Wait, sorry. What did your rook say?
He said, and I quote, "Knife ears come in small."
Oh dear. The minute here's knife ear, it's Garuk. Please don't say that.
I'm sure you don't mean anything by it, but that is kind of not nice
That's
thing
the
to say
result
about people.
shit.
That's racist.
It's also liable to get a
Eyes out of
Well,
people.
I am back home.
Hmm.
We don't know. She is a goblin.
Goblins are also culturally very proud bears. Lizzie, however, is she's about 4 piercings in one ear. Another ear has a large diagonal chunk cut out of the tip. She's got a mask across her face that intersects with her right eye. It's milky and dead, but her remaining eye is an almost startling glowing red.
Also, as you walk in, like you literally walk into Luke during this thing. Like you open the door as Luke says, I actually have picture evidence showing, and he does this thing. He how do I explain it? It's like this weird illusion magic that he creates of screen images.
Beatrice has probably seen this before.
Oh,
The moment Groot sees them, he's just immediately trying to touch what's going on.
Garuk, don't. You can't actually touch. Pictures, just.
Pictures, but made out of light.
Thank you.
Pictures of light.
Yes.
Pictures made out of light.
Made of light.
Yes.
Yes.
Why do you use illusion magic?
It's not magic.
It's technology.
Can I Tinker's check the hologram immediately?
Disadvantage. As I say, the only reason that it's disadvantage is because
It's
not.
heck.
Yeah. Even still, with that, it's strange, but you roll a perception too.
A nat 1 and I still get a fucking point.
However, this still can be to the favor. A bit of a glint from his wrists, as like from the wrist of his sleeves, which like seemed like a little like because it you just at like the just the wrong angle. It doesn't hurt too much. It's just like what the hell. But from what you can gather, it seems like. I mean, first off, it does not seem like he's lying when he says it's tech. Second off, it seems like it's something that can, well, these, at least on a two-dimensional scale, can replicate minor illusion. Or can act similar.
Empire's had a power breakthrough, haven't they? And by power, I mean electrical.
He's just swinging his hand through the holograms.
Quite a few technological breakthroughs recently, comes to the territory. Having to constantly.
You should have gotten several research research requests recently. Now, whether or not the Empire actually accepted them is a different matter entirely.
No, in the Empire, they tend to keep a tight eye on their technological advances.
Oh, I'm fully aware, hence the requests. Lest you forget where I'm from.
Good firm. I'm just saying the Empire is a bit stingy with their tech.
Again, hence the requests.
DM, man. Because it's starting to sense like there's a little bit of tension between the two of them.
You don't even need to roll it. The tension is obvious.
There is
Lizzie
Yeah,
is innately
cut the air with a
distrustful.
knife.
Lizzie is innately distrustful of an agent of a monarchy.
Kusanali's not a monarchy.
She's not tense with you. She's tense with Luke.
Honestly, I think it's more Kusanali that you need to worry about, but that's just me.
Like, it's like Malava may not agree with Kusanabe, but they understand them. They actively distrust the Empire.
Because they don't have the full scope of what the Empire is.
Yet.
It's not an empire in the way that they think that it's an empire.
Anyway.
Mostly, several diplomatic events in the beginning of the Union went sour with the Empire, and it's kind of flavored everything going forward.
Anyway.
It's not so much stingy with the tech. It's just we gotta use what we've got. Say everyone's got their fair share of issues right now.
Well, we have time after the current affair that we're all a part of, for some reason.
And with that, top players, a certain elf will, oops, it has written you all, or appears.
Does he walk
sort of
in?
walk from the back.
Is it a hologram?
He walks in from the back.
Huh.
Let's see, well, met each other.
Our employer. And she'll just kind of she'll bow to him a little bit deeper than what she did to the sheriff's what she did to the sheriff, simply because this new elf is technically her employer.
Yeah.
This would be the friend that helped me with the bear trap that one time.
There's no need for such formal introduction. I prefer it's a little bit low. There's already too much of that. There's already too much of that formality in the upper ranges.
Could you please repeat what his name was again, please?
Governor Vailring.
Oh no, it's not who I was thinking it was then. Never mind. Wait. Okay, now my brain completely tanked. I am so sorry. I feel like I just derailed and I didn't mean to.
Vailring is your employer. He's also the governor of this city.
Mm-hmm.
Was he also the friend? That's what I was asking for.
No.
Oh, no.
Then never mind. Yeah, the individual that was the friend, group would have basically been like, my friend.
can tell that Valorant is like, while he's in a position of governmental power, it's that thing of like, it's, he doesn't hate being here, but it's also,
He's not the biggest fan of his job.
yeah, it's
my
like
God.
Emmerich in Final Fantasy 14. He did not
Yeah.
expect to be put as in such a position, and is now thrust into. It went from one political position to another, and it was like, well, god damn it.
Like, I do not like it.
Yeah. Um, So, if you have no use for formalities, let's cut to the quick, as it were.
This is what I'm going to call it for the night.
I see.
9:30.
Yeah. But I do think that was a
to call it anyway.
that was a good setup. Is this going to be a weekly thing? Is this going to be a bi-weekly?
I'm going to try and aim for every other week.
Okay,
Bi-weekly.
cool.
Then that would be the 8th.
Yes. Well, hang
No,
on.
the 15th, sorry.
I
15th, sorry.
was going to say let me. Yes, that would be 15th.
The 8th would be next week.
Yep.
We can figure out more detailed scheduling later. But on that note, guys, I hope that the audiences have enjoyed today's stream. As always, make sure to leave a follow, or in Novomancer's case, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see more content. To support me on Twitch anyway, since I have not reached affiliate or partner yet, I do have a Ko-Fi link in the About section of the Twitch channel and in the description of my VODs, which are usually up in a couple days between the initial stream. Additionally, if you're not comfortable with supporting me through Ko-Fi, I have a couple fundraisers. Links to those will also be in the About section or the descriptions of the VODs themselves. And I think I covered everything on my end. Noah, do you?
No, you covered it pretty much.
Okay.
With that being said,